Podcast, Episode 8. I'm your host, P. Deli, a.k.a. Preston Spadon. I'm joined with my co-host,
Joseph.
And special guest,
Sam.
It is Sam. He is the man. And he is a fellow swimmer and diver. He do be diving well. And he's joined us for the podcast. Sam, introduce yourself to the 5 viewers that watch about 2 minutes of the show.
My name's Sam, and I'm pretty sexy, not gonna lie. I don't know, we're gonna see how this goes, I guess.
Is it a bad thing I failed to mention that we keep this PG?
I feel like that's PG enough.
That's PG. I mean, it's PG enough, but just for further reference. Yes. Joe, do a thing.
Like what thing? I don't know.
Do a thing.
I realized actually that I'm signed in to this YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, on my school computer, and I've been watching a few videos. Like, cause I looked at our recent our history, and I'm just like, why would any of us be watching this? Okay, wait. Did you watch that one? The log turning video?
No, I didn't do that one.
It's just a wood turning video.
I did not do the log turning
Because
video.
I actually haven't watched this. We're going to give it a quick look.
So, while Joe talks about logs.
Log turning video.
Joe will be watching the log turning video.
Where did this come from? Because I didn't watch this. I did not watch this. Someone hacked into our account.
We're being hacked. Someone's going to die. Sam, talk about your recent change in style.
Oh, my recent change in style. Well, I don't really know how to explain my recent change in style, I guess. I used to wear cowboy boots. In fact, I still do if I have to do something dirty, like work on my truck or something. But, I don't know. I realized that I just kind of wasn't digging it anymore. And then I kind of went shopping with a few girls, and they picked me out some clothes. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. I'm okay with this. Yeah. All right. So I picked out a pair of joggers. Oh, here's the log turning video.
That's pretty epic.
Oh, yeah, that is pretty nice.
Dude, this used to be like a rotted piece of log, dude.
Wow. Preston, what do you think?
That is curious, but why? I mean, I love it, but why?
It's literally just a stump. It's a stump.
Cool.
Oh, now he's turning it.
Yeah.
And he's shaving it.
Mm-hmm.
He's
making it look fine, dude.
Yeah, he's gonna
It's gonna no longer look like just a.
It's not gonna be
log.
bumpy. Yeah.
No bumps.
No bumps. Smooth log.
Only smooth logs on this podcast.
Only smooth logs. Oh, look at him. He's going ham on that. Anyways, back on the topic here. Yeah, I don't know. I went shopping with some girls, picked out some pair of joggers and a couple of hoodies and some new shoes, and then I was like, all right, this is the new look. And not gonna lie, I feel like I look way better. But I don't know. But back to Preston.
If I'm honest, you do look a lot better because you do like the watch, and the watch always looked kind of dumb with the cowboy boots. If I'm honest, it didn't work. It didn't work. Like, that's a nice. Sam likes his watches, and this is a very nice watch I'm referencing. And it would always look kind of dumb when he'd come in looking hick, and he's just got this big old fancy dancy watch. But now it looks better because he's dressing more preppy. Yeah, preppy's a good way to put it.
His watch be looking like the Ben 10 Omnitrix. It's so big.
Very accurate.
Not gonna lie, it is.
Dude, I forgot who came up with that. It was either me or my brother. One of us came up with it.
Oh, yeah.
Just on your Snap story, you were like this, and we were just like Ben 10 Omnitrix right there.
So, viewers, longtime viewers of the 7 episodes in 8 weeks we've had this YouTube channel will know that our first episode we talked about the Cybertruck, Tesla's truck that came out around the time we started this podcast. I'm personally a fan of it. Joe is a fan of it, correct?
I enjoy it a little bit. I don't know if I'd buy one just because they're so expensive, or I don't need a truck either. But this guy right here, let's get your opinion on this.
I have a lot of thoughts on this truck. Honestly, I think it looks very similar to a DeLorean. Just kind of like flip-flopped a little bit. And
It is.
I don't... The interior, it's like blank. It's like a blank slate. But like there's features, I guess, but it's just like a blank slate. Like there's nothing really there. The dash just kind of is like a dash. There's like no vents like that from what I saw. But and I like the tailgate thing where it like doesn't it like telescope out or something? That's kind of sick. But
They did I personally think they did the tailgate right.
I think they did the tailgate right.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but I did say I personally think they did the tailgate real nice. But I'm looking up the interior now. I'm going to see this for the first time.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of how it looks. I saw different renderings.
What is this?
Honestly,
That is
like
so dumb.
okay, I don't like it at all. Look at the dash on
That
it.
dash looked real dumb.
It does.
I'll try and throw a picture up on screen, hopefully, for the viewers.
It's literally like it looks like it's made out of marble, doesn't it? It's just I don't like it. The seats are like kind of cool, but
It looks roomy.
it does look very roomy. It looks comfortable, to be
Also,
honest.
go to the steering wheel. Are car companies switching to that where it's like half of a wheel? 'Cause
Sorta.
I've seen that on like mock-ups of like a new Mercedes Benz or whatever. Mercedes.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I
It's just-
personally don't like it either.
How am I supposed to drive?
How are you?
You
yeah.
can't have your hands.
You
at
can't.
too.
You can't shuffle around at all. Like
That's so dangerous.
on my truck, I shuffle my hands around, but
Okay, no one actually does the whole race car driving near thing.
uh-uh.
No one actually does that.
No. You have to have like a super short, like I don't know, turning radius kind of deal for that to happen. Like
Well, you need to be super sensitive, but that causes all sorts of problems if you have a super sensitive steering. We're not 99.9% of us on the road are not professional racing drivers, and even the ones who are professional racing drivers don't drive like professional racing drivers when they're just going to the store to get milk. I'm just kidding. It's milk. Anyone who says milk is not okay.
milk.
I don't know. When I'm in a hurry, I say milk. I mean, I don't purposefully say.
The I in there, you just say milk.
I know, but like when I'm really thinking about it, I say milk.
Milk.
Who would emphasize, like, put an E in there and say milk? It's milk. You say it with an I.
Yeah, I don't purposely say milk. I just sometimes
Sounds
act
cleaner, in my opinion. If you just say milk normal, like a normal person, but if you say like milk,
like you normies out there.
yeah, like, jeez.
It's milk.
When I hear someone say milk, I instantly think of rotten milk or old, gross, nasty, chunky milk.
Yeah, I can agree on that. Yeah. Anyways, back to the Tesla truck. The wheels too. I'm not a fan of the wheels. In my opinion, I think they look kind of stupid. Did you see them? They look like straight out of Star Wars. In my opinion,
Definitely.
they look like they're straight out of Star Wars.
Okay, I have something to say on that. I just put a bottle cap out of my mouth. I'll try to get another picture of the wheels up here. I do think they were trying to go for cyber. I'm dying. I did cry. Cybertruck. Cybertruck. I did feel like they're actually going for this whole Star Wars, boxy, futuristic looking thing. And I also support that, didn't Elon say that, and I think Joe, you were the one who quoted this, that trucks really haven't changed in their looks. Elon said the truck's design really hasn't changed all that much. Anything at all really since their inception. I mean, they've gotten bigger and a bit more smooth looking and newer, but a truck from 1960 doesn't look all that different. Or let's use a truck from like 1940 or 1950, like real old, doesn't look anything at all different. Doesn't look hardly that different from a truck made in 2020. But if you look at a car from 1930, Oh, that's a change.
Change. I'm gonna disagree with you on Elon Musk and with you on this because I think trucks have changed a lot in the way they look. If you look at trucks from like the 60s and before that, they were a little bit more curvier in like the 50s and the 60s, and then they hit the 70s and they got boxier. 80s they got boxier, and then in the 90s everything kind of started to smooth out, and then you had the 2000s where everything had like a bubbly look to it, and then they started to smooth out even more. And then you look at trucks now, like 2020s, and they're kind of getting boxy again, which is like they're trying to make a futuristic look, but I'm actually okay with it not changing because I feel like the way Elon did it and stepping in with like some crazy looking futuristic truck, I think it's a little over the top in my opinion.
Well, I mean, that's what he was kind of going for. Like when Elon was making the truck, he was trying to make a car like a truck that no one's made before, you know? I mean, because when you look at that truck, you're like, nothing about this is the same as like what Ford or like Chevy is making. No one's made this ever.
Yeah,
I mean, like his hubcaps, the form of his truck is just completely different than everything. And I'll give him that. I would never buy it just because it's so expensive and I don't need a truck. But like, it's just.
I mean, it's good for a one-off thing, and I think they did it right. But I actually will agree with Sam on this one, that they kind of nailed trucks on the first try. Like the basic level of trucks, they kind of nailed it on the first try. So, I mean, they go back from boxy and smooth and different types of styles. But the base, the foundation is still there. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's like, I think the Cybertruck will work because it's so unique. But if you try to like make a whole different generation of cyber-looking trucks,
no, that rendering that you have right there looks way cleaner in my opinion. Yeah. I absolutely love it.
I'll try and throw up a picture of the Cybertruck and then followed by the rendering we're talking about, and I think it looks super dope.
I mean, and this rendering still. I mean, you could change this just a little bit, and it would be like, oh yeah, that's not a Ford, that's not a Chevy. You know, it still looks Tesla. You know.
I love that rendering, and almost see now. The Tesla, actually no, because this one still has like panels and stuff, but the Tesla truck or the Cybertruck, I guess you could, whatever it's called, that's actually a unibody like design. So the bed's like not separate; it's all one piece. Body panels are like all one piece. But no, I love this rendering. It looks way cleaner in my opinion. But even the wheels look way better in my opinion.
My phone do be glitching.
No, I love that. If Elon would have used that rendering and actually made the truck with that rendering, I would be all over it for sure. But I don't know, it's too blocky and it looks like a DeLorean.
Honestly, it just looks like something from Roblox.
Can we talk about the four-wheeler that was in the back?
Oh yes. I don't think we talked about.
We never talked about the four-wheeler or the sledgehammer.
Or the sledgehammer. Yep, we didn't talk about that.
So let's start with the four-wheeler. Sam, hit it off.
I'm gonna look this up real quick so I can see a picture of this thing, because I've only seen it in the bed. Let's see what this thing looks like. Tesla four-wheeler.
Oh, it's glorious.
Oh my, Tesla Cyberquad. That thing is so flippin' sick. That thing's awesome.
They do be nailing the four-wheeler.
Look at that. I think they were spot on with the four-wheeler.
Yeah, I really haven't seen like an up-close picture with it. I just watched the release for like the Cybertruck, and then I saw it, and they didn't really show it off that much. They were just like, oh, by the way, like ATV.
I would drive that thing like crazy. That's odd. That thing looks so sick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. It's got like it almost looks like the seat is like Alcantara or like a suede kind of fabric. And he's still got that same weird wheel design too.
He's got a weird wheel.
But I like that thing. That thing's kind of sick. It's still kind of wedgy and like blocky, but
I mean, from this angle, it looks really smooth.
Oh,
too.
I like that. No, that thing's sick. I would totally drive that.
We be throwing up all the pictures. This is gonna be
Throwing up all the pictures.
throwing up all the pictures. Yes. So
What about the sledgehammer?
the sledgehammer.
What about it?
I think it was a marketing ploy.
Okay, wait. Which sledgehammer?
Wait, you know that they Elon like flap the windows are supposed to be.
That was just a steel ball. That wasn't the hammer.
Oh.
Have you not seen the hammer?
No, the hammer was he was testing the siding. He had someone throw a steel ball.
Oh, is that what it
like
was?
A, like
Yeah,
a
it was
metal
steel
ball.
ball. It was a metal ball.
I think it was a marketing ploy.
My bad. I shouldn't have said sledgehammer. I meant steel ball. But I also think it was a marketing tactic for sure.
Because that got memed super hard.
Super hard. And
I mean,
it kind of like blew up from there almost.
He's even selling merch about it.
Yeah.
See, Elon's just a genius.
I think it was on purpose for him to make more money.
Yes.
Or I mean, also that would get him publicity. It's like, hey, look.
Publicity.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's like
Where there's more publicity, there's more money.
Yes.
do it.
Yes.
Join the dark side.
Joining the dark side of owning an electric vehicle.
I don't own a Tesla, but only Tesla.
See, now, I don't know. I like to be able to hear my car going down the road. I like to be able to, like, annoy people while they're on the sidewalk and I'm driving by them and my truck's super loud. I don't know if I drive a silent truck, but the fact that it's really fast is kind of sick. You know, having that instant power, but I don't know. I like to tinker with things. I don't really want to buy a vehicle that I have no clue how to work anything on it, and it's just basically one big computer.
What if you just hooked up like some speakers to the outside of it and then played an MP3 of like a diesel truck?
No, that's actually I'm glad you said that, because at SEMA there was SEMA or something. Someone actually made an exhaust for a Tesla, and it has like tips and everything, and it's literally just a U shape, right? Kind of like a U shape, and at each corner there's a speaker, and you can like program whatever you want into it. So you can make your Tesla, as you're driving away, make farting noises if you wanted to. Like, I don't know. I thought that's kind of sick, but with exhaust tips, I don't know. On a Tesla, I feel like everyone would give you a lot of crap for that.
Yeah, I don't know. That.
But it is a thing.
Yes.
Someone did it.
In other news, what is the other news?
I turned 18.
Joe turns 18 in about 5 hours. Joe, how will it feel to be an adult person?
I don't know. Cause like I don't know when I'm supposed to like sign up for this whole draft meme. So like, I know like soon. I don't know. I'll probably do it this weekend. Yep.
Yes. So, Sam, what are your feelings towards cars? Just feelings.
I like them.
You do be liking the car. Very nice indeed. A couple announcements. We will be shortening the Crackhead Hours podcast by about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to make it easier for me to edit and us to give more power-packed content. Yes, and the upload date is being changed to Saturday. It was once Friday, so I can have more time to edit it, since I am lazy and busy, but more so busy.
Yes.
Yup. Yup. 100%.
Yes.
Can I get your opinion on this?
It's my idea.
I feel you there, man. Yes.
Preston, can I get your opinion on this?
Joe Mama. Okay, enough with the noises. Sam, you currently drive a Chevy Silverado, but you're a Ford guy. What's with this turn to the dark side?
Okay, all right. So I had a Ford Focus, a 2016 that I got in April, and I crashed it and totaled it in August, being really stupid. And I needed a new car, right? Something to drive, because I wasn't gonna drive my other Ford around, which is a diesel, which I just did for like 3 months. Which we'll get to that later. But I totaled the Focus, and my mom was at the car dealership, and she was looking at Jeep crossovers. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not going to be rolling around in a soccer mom Jeep crossover. She's like, they're so nice. I would totally want one of these. I'm like, Mom, you're a 46-year-old woman who has kids, and I don't have kids, and I'm 17, and I don't really want to be seen rolling around in a soccer mom car. And I was looking at the dealership, and I knew that they had a red Chevy Silverado. And I was like, okay, well, if I can convince my mom to get this, then that's like the easy way out. Then I don't have to drive a crossover. And I don't really like gas trucks, but I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna have to settle with this, that's fine. So I talked to the car dealership guy, and I was like, do you have this red truck? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, can we look at it? Can I drive it, please? And he's like, yeah, we can do that. I'm like, drove it around, and I was like, wow, this is pretty nice. Got brand new tires on it. Wow. It's like no rust, low miles. Wow. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty cool. All right. And so that's what I'm driving now. And then a lady actually ran a red light and hit me. And then all this insurance crap went crazy. It took forever. And my truck got fixed like 2 weeks ago. And I crashed in November, and it's like, what, January 16th, whatever, something like that. 21st, my bad. But yeah, that was kind of crazy, but I'll just settle with this for a little bit and then maybe get another car. Not sure.
Joe, what do you drive?
Honda Civic 98. 98 Civic. It just got fixed. Like, okay, wait. When was the first meet? It was
December 16th?
Yeah. December 16th. December 16th, my Civic gets backed into, and the headlight a week later after that just completely like dies out. It used to be able to like turn on, so I was able to drive it. So December you said 16th? So December like 20th to a week ago, I was driving a Silverado too. It was pretty epic. And the size difference between those two was I did not enjoy that. I'm happy to be back in my little tiny gas efficient car.
I drive the opposite of that. I drive a 2004 Lincoln Town Car. Now this car is very big, very wide, very heavy, and it's got a 4.6 liter V8. So I go through gas about 18 miles to the gallon. It's a very comfortable ride, and it do pick up real fast, but it do be very inefficient when it comes to gas. But I can put a lot of people in it, and I have a very big trunk for putting my swim bag in. Yes, swim bag.
Yeah, I also live that like 10 miles to the gallon life now. In my Focus, I literally got like 30, and now I get 10. It's amazing. My tank was like 12 gallons too, so it was only like $26 to fill up, something like that, depending on what gas I put in. Usually I just put 87 in, but if I was feeling lucky and nice, I'd put 91 in. But no, I also live that very poor gas mileage life, and it's kind of terrible, not gonna lie.
I don't know. I pay like $25 every month on gas. It's pretty great because I only have to fill it up like every other week, and that's like when it gets like, I got a quarter left,
So depending on what time of the year it is, so I don't pay for my own gas for reasons that I'll get into. So during like high school season we're in now, I live a 10-minute drive. I live a 10-minute drive from the pool and about 2 miles from it. So I go through gas very slow. I probably fill up once every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on what I do. If I'm driving, it'll be 2 weeks if I do other stuff. If I'm just going to the pool and back and to work and back, it's 3 weeks, which is fine, especially because it's inefficient. But if I'm in club season, I am driving, 20, 30 miles. I'm driving about 45 miles round trip on a day, and that gets expensive. And that's better than what it used to be. I used to be driving about 60 miles round trip, and I would just go through fuel in 5. So when I was at my old club location, I was going through fuel so fast it was filling up every 5 days, and it's $45 to fill my tank. So, and now it's, every like 6, 7, it's about every 7 to 8 days now, and it's still, $45 to fill my tank, because it's
Practice, I would literally have to fill up every single day, and it's like $50 to fill my truck up.
it's not great. It's terrible. Sam just said it's terrible, and it's terrible.
I want a car again.
I never thought you'd say that. I really never thought you'd say that.
Neither would I. But
That is a shocker. If you
mileage, dude, gas mileage, and being a little bit faster beats having a truck and pulling through snow and everything else.
see, I've known Sam for quite a long time now, and if you would have told me 4 or 5 years ago that one day he would rather have a car over a truck, I probably would have laughed at you and called you silly.
That's just silly.
Okay, so I also went to the same club as you like 2 years ago. I had to pay down and back. It's like what 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes down, 40 minutes back, right, to Plymouth. I paid like I had to fill up my tank like every week and a half maybe. So like a solid a solid $10 and no what 10 what? 10 days is what I meant. Yeah. So that was pretty nice.
We will continue the podcast for another about 10 minutes, but Sammy do be needing to go. So I'd like to personally thank Sam for coming on the podcast,
My mommy wants me home.
which is an acceptable reason, but thank you for coming on. We'll definitely have you on again in a future time.
Yeah, thanks for having me so much. I love all of you guys. Thanks.
Like and subscribe for Sammy.
Yep, do it. Hit the just obliterate the
Obliterate the subscribe button.
dude. Hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out of here. Peace. Love you.
Donate to the Patreon for Sam's new focus.
Love. Yeah, so you gave him a good point. Cars are superior to trucks because gas mileage. Yeah, I go through gas. It was about once every 8 days when I'm in club season, and then when I used to go to my old club location, it was once every 5 days I was filling my tank. It was quite ridiculous. Joe, you get to drive a fuel efficient car, and I'm kind of jealous of you.
Just like, yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, that's why I don't pay my gas, because I'd be so unbelievably broke, because I have a very fuel inefficient car. At least the tank's big, like it's 18 gallons. Like it could be like a 10-gallon tank, and that'd be awful, but it do hold a lot of fuel.
Mm-hmm. How long have we been recording that? It's been like.
It's been that amount of time.
Okay.
So we'll go like another 5 minutes.
Yeah. We need like a crackhead topic because we've just been talking about cars.
There, the spike. No,
Spike. The spike.
the spike. The spike. I think the crack is coming to town. So Joe, what are you doing after this?
Going home and sleeping. I'll tell you about my adventure that I had yesterday. There was a project due in my government class, and I was like halfway done with it. But see, the thing is, the project is worth well over like 50% of my grade. So I needed this thing turned in. And so I got home from the swim party at like 9. And I didn't go to bed until like 12:30. It was pretty mint. I finished the project. I don't think I'm going to do that well on it.
Oh dear. I went home and died. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I mean, also, have you ever, okay, so there's like different types of sleeping, you know? There's like, oh, dude, I got some good sleep, you know?
Uh-huh.
I got horrible sleep last night. I had that sleep where it's like you feel like you're sleeping, Or like, no, you think that you're awake.
You have no idea how much I hate that. I have that probably once or twice a month, and it feels like time is moving at like 1 second equates to 1 minute. And I just am so bored, and like my brain function doesn't work because like when I'm in that moment, I'm super bored. So you might think, well, why don't you get up and watch YouTube or like walk around the house for a bit just to get your blood flowing and get yourself back into the groove? Well, I'm about 3/4 asleep, so I don't have the brain capacity or brain function to do that. So I just sit there looking at my ceiling, so bored and so miserable, wanting to perish, and I hate that.
I mean, the main reason I hate it is it's because, like, here's what happened last night. I looked at the clock. I'm like, oh, it's like, it's like 12:30. And I'm trying to go to bed. And it feels like I don't feel myself go to sleep, it's not like, oh, it's black, I'm asleep, I mean, I never really think about it like that. But I feel like I'm awake. And then I just, like, I lean up, look at my clock, and I'm like, oh, it's 6. What? I looked at the clock what felt like 30 minutes ago, and it was 12:30. And now it's 6.
Okay, I have a fun story about not that exact thing, but weird time passage. I think this will be the crackhead story to finish it up. So I wouldn't say suffer, but it's like, I forget what it's called, but it's like trucker's brain or trucker's snooze or whatever like it is. So like cross country truckers, because it's just so monotonous and so boring and just the same thing over and over again, their brain actually goes into, I'm not a scientist, I've just heard this from word of mouth, their brain goes into partial hibernation or sleep, to where they're awake and they're conscious and they're driving and they know what's going on, but their brain actually doesn't remember and you have no recollection of the time. And I actually have this happen quite often. I swim, so it happens a lot in the pool. I just zone out, and I have that happen because it's swimming is very monotonous. It's the same thing over again. It's looking at black tiles. So what is up with that? My first time I noticed this happening, I was in probably 5th grade playing baseball. I was a catcher, so I caught the ball. I asked the ump, hey, what's the count? The count was 1-1 with 1 out. So I throw it back, and I instantly, and it goes through the motions, I receive the next pitch. But I find myself wondering what the count was. So he says, oh, it's 1-2. And it was a strike that was just called. So I was like, okay, I don't know why I forgot that. So then I throw the ball back to the pitcher, set up, catch the ball, frame it, strike 3, batter's out, and I'm just about ready to throw it back. But everyone starts coming in, the batter walks off the field, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I thought there was just 1 out. And that was my first instance in having that happen. But I have that happen from time to time because there's been times I've been in my room cleaning. I look up at the clock, it's 4:22. I look at the clock again, it's 5:33. What just happened? So, yeah, that's my story of my brain not working. Comment down below if you have any experience with this. Joe, do you have any experience with that?
I mean, I do, but I don't have anything off the top of my head. It has happened where I'm like, oh, it's like, it's like this time. Looks back like what feels like 5 minutes later. Oh, it's like 2 hours later.
I want my stolen time back.
All right. I don't know if this is just me, but like the perfect type of sleeping is when you go to bed at like a decent time, like 9 or something. And then you wake up and it's like 3 and you're like, sweet. And then you go back to bed, cause then you get, it's like dessert. It's like you had your main entree, you had the steak from 9 to 3, but now once you woke up, you get to have dessert.
I agree with that. I have the greatest part of waking up is going back to sleep. No, if I remember correctly, my dad told me a story of when he was in high school, he would actually set his alarm like an hour and a half before he had to get up so he could go back to sleep and experience that. So, yeah, that is the greatest thing of all time.
I got mad respect for your dad now. That's great. I might cop that idea.
No, he told me that. It's been a few years, so don't quote me on it. I believe I remember that quite vividly. but I remember him telling me that he did that because we were talking about going back to sleep, and I would agree that feeling is so good. But I don't do that because I don't want to risk having it be one of those times where I can't go back to sleep and I just feel awful and I just missed out on like an hour and a half of sleep.
I might just do that. I mean, I might probably do it a little earlier so then I can actually get, because if I do an hour, there's a possibility where I just don't go back to bed.
Right.
So it's like I got to do it at like 3 or like closer.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because like whenever I have to get up early and my alarm wakes me up, I want to go back to bed. So, yeah. Joe is fixing the mic.
There was just a hair on my mic, so I was like picking at it. I don't know whose hair that was because that was like a small white one.
I'm actually 45 years old.
You, yeah, all right.
And I believe that is it for the Crackhead Hours podcast. I'd like to thank you for listening. And if you're still listening to this point, hi, Mom. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week when me and Joe talk about something, and it is comedy. I'm your host, Preston Schmugel, a.k.a. That One Dude, and
it's your boy Joe coming back at you with another episode of just restart it. A subscribe. Or I'll
thank you and goodbye. Way down on the farm back when I go.